One day, Emma Alice Smith rode away on her bike and was never seen again, as this film made by villagers shows. It was 1926 and life in Emma's village continued as the fruitless search for her was wound down. Her working-class family were overcome with grief and perhaps shame over the domestic servant's sudden disappearance.
Sonny, you've got to marry him. No, he doesn't.
Some thought she'd run off with a young Irishman who had been working in the village.
Get away from here, gloomy old ward.
27 years later, in 1953, there was an astonishing twist. Here in the village, Emma's sister Lillian heard a deathbed confession from a man who claimed he'd murdered Emma and thrown her body in a pond. What's even more astonishing, the family decided not to report that confession to the police. But now the mystery of Emma's disappearance is being investigated again.
This is the last photograph of Emma Alice. She would have been 16 in this photograph.
Her great-nephew, David Wright, was persuaded to reveal the deathbed confession during the making of the film.
Potentially the perpetrator, if I can call him the perpetrator, would have been known to the village. And as he'd already passed away himself, I don't think she felt it was probably necessary at that point to upset perhaps members of his family or perhaps descendants of his or even members of her own family.
Emma set off from her home in Waldron to cycle the 3 miles or so to the station at Horham for her regular train to work. That day she never caught it. A search of local ponds may recover Emma's remains, but police are appealing for more information.
Because the more we understand about the disappearance of Emma Alice Smith, the more chance there is that if her body is there in a pond, we will be able to find it.
Emma's parents and siblings are buried in a family plot in the village cemetery. A plaque records her birth, but not her death. It reads simply, "In our prayers." Martin Brunt, Sky News, Waldron in East Sussex.